Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe, and welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, your host. You know, I decided today would be a good time to go and take a deep dive into the whole concept of self-criticism. And, you know, I have a question for everybody. Have you ever noticed how you speak to yourself in moments of failure or stress? That's something to ponder. I know sometimes our go-to is just to go down that rabbit hole and beat the crap out of ourselves and call ourselves names and you know, we're not very kind to ourselves. We really hold ourselves to a way higher standard than we give other people or even your friends, you know, that we surround ourselves with. So, you know, I decided that this week we're going to talk about shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion, because really it's all vibration, it's all frequency, it's all energy. And I don't know if you realize this, but words have vibrations and frequencies. I know that might be a real challenge for some people to wrap their minds around this, but this is the truth. If you looked at the work of Dr. Masaru Emoto, Dr. Emoto was a Japanese scientist and he passed away probably in the last 10 years, but he is known for his work with looking at water and labeling water with words, but also being able to pray over bodies of water and clear and heal what's going on in the water. And it's fascinating because, you know, when you look at, you know, some of his early things were about freezing water labeled with the word love, peace, and of course, with some words like I hate you, war, um, judging. Okay. When he would label those vessels of water and then he would freeze those vessels labeled with those particular words. And then he would look underneath a high-powered microscope at the crystalline formation of that water with the particular labeled, you know, word. Of course, the words that were, you know, what we consider feel-good words like love and peace, these were, you could see these beautiful, symmetrical, crystalline formations. Now, in contrast, when he would look at the water that was labeled I hate you, war, or anything that's, you know, negative, what would you think? When you looked at that, there were unsymmetrical, unformed crystals and just like blobs. So if you take that a step further, okay, we know that the human body is literally a vessel of water, right? Okay. You know, people, you know, scientists have proven that the body is probably 70% water. Okay. So we are what we say in the quiet of our mind and our criticism is like we are labeling this container of water. So what do you think those labels are doing to the overall pathophysiology of our body? Yeah, that's a showstopper because we are labeling this vessel. And remember, everything is a frequency and energy. Words have power, water has power, and it molds to whatever the energy is. And so we are really creating some very interesting things for ourselves by when we are, super critical. Our body is being labeled, say if we're really critical and it's like you just don't want to get out of bed, you hate yourself, you hate your life, you label that. That's a label of this vessel. So guess what it's doing? It's um, allowing your body to resonate to a lower vibration and frequency. When that happens, it's the like attract likes phenomena. Okay. Whatever you focus your attention on, it's negative stuff. It's like you're going to attract more of that lower vibrating things into your life. And if you have any doubt about that, I invite you, I really don't want you to do this, but focus on something negative and see what continues to happen in your life. You may be so uncomfortable that you're like, okay, I see that. I want to change that quickly. What the good news is that by just changing the labels and being more kinder to ourselves and less critical and more compassionate with ourselves, this in essence raises our frequency and vibration. It raises our energy. And will start allowing more of those like things to come into our world so we can manifest that. So let's define what self-compassion is. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you would offer to a close friend during a difficult time. It involves self-kindness, being gentle with yourself instead of harshly judging yourself and criticizing yourself. It's recognizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. And it's about being mindful, being aware of your pain or struggle without exaggerating or suppressing it. It's like acknowledging that it's there. It's not about ignoring it or pretending it's not there, because remember, everything is energy. Instead of criticizing yourself when you fail or make mistakes, self-compassion encourages you to have more patience, emotional balance, and inner support within yourself. Now, in contrast, let's look at self-criticism. And self-criticism is the inner dialogue where we harshly judge, blame, and devalue ourselves, especially when we make mistakes or don't meet our own expectations. See if this sounds familiar. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I should be further ahead by now. Any of those ring true to you or sound familiar? I thought so. Interestingly enough, it can stem from, past conditioning. If you've had a tendency to be a perfectionist, recovering perfectionist here, or have a lot of fear, this often leads to shame, anxiety, and sense of inadequacy. So, many of us might have been in conditions in our early childhood where we were shamed, or our surroundings were provided a lot of emotional stress and drama. And one thing you have to remember is that nobody's parents were perfect. Nobody's living situation was perfect. Everybody learned from previous generations. So a lot of times there's an ancestral lineage component to all of this. Yet we are here to shift that now and to heal that, because what we do in this moment in regards to this whole umbrella of this self-criticism has the capability, believe it or not, to heal up to 7 generations in the past and also 7 generations into the future. Because remember, everything is happening simultaneously right here, right now. Linear time is no longer linear. It's all happening simultaneously. Time has collapsed on itself. So what you do in this moment has a lot of power and a lot of healing capability. And I know that's going to be a stretch for some people as well. But I invite you to step into the stretch. It'll change and rock your world. So we talked a little bit about childhood experiences and ancestral lineage with the whole thing. What I think is really interesting is how shame is threaded into this. And I feel that shame is something that has been probably projected onto us from our ancestors, from the lineage, and as if we were supposed to take it on as our own to heal it for the masses. Okay, well, there's some truth to that. We are healing it for the masses. However, we do not have to allow that to be our way of being. Okay. When we are able to have a little more self-compassion for ourselves, knowing that we're doing the best we can, and even though it doesn't look perfect, because it has to be perfect all the time in order for it to be good or worthy of you, or worthy of you having it, there's a lot of shame that's interthreaded with that. So let's, really take a deep dive into what's really going on with us. It's just like, I always love the expression when things start coming up in my lives and, the story comes up. It's just like, I have to take a deep breath and pop out of it and realize, who made this story up? I mean, it's really kind of funny because it's like, there I go telling a story again when it's not even true, but it's like for some odd reason, it's on rote and it's on automatic. So when we're able to have that awareness that this is what's going on, this is where we really step into our power. And you could even say, oh, hell no, this is not happening again. Okay, get to the extreme of it, and just, be your own mama bear, if you want to say so, where you're going to protect yourself and your inner child so that you could become complete and whole and step into your power and grace. Our inner voice often shapes our outer experiences. And whatever I was saying, is like whatever you focus your attention on, you're going to create more and more of that, because like attracts like. It's a frequency vibration essence, if you want to call it that. When you are operating from that, I'm not going to say level, but operating from that energetic frequency, you're going to create things that are a match for that energetically. Okay. So the key to all of this is just being aware, mindful, and knowing that, okay, I may slip off the wagon. I might be doing well for a while, then all of a sudden, a hiccup happens and a bump happens and you're going down that rabbit hole. It's just like, when you feel those sensations, I just invite you to stop what you're doing, take a very deep breath and blow it out, and maybe take another deep breath and realize, okay, I could choose to go down that path, or I could switch that up and change that. So we're getting ready to go on our first break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're talking about shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion. And when we come back, we'll share some more.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And we're talking about self-criticism and shifting that to self-compassion. And before our break, we talked about what self-compassion is and what, self-criticism is, and how so much is strung along with that. It's our perceptions of wanting to be perfect. It's probably how we coped when we were younger, because remember, we never got the manual on how to be a human being. I always used to wonder, it's like I should know better. I should know these things. It was projected onto me that I should, but yet I didn't come with a manual that I could read. I chuckle about this now, but it's just, it's really kind of crazy. Anyway, I want to talk on this segment. I just want to talk more about the power of our inner dialogue, because I think that's so important to really take a deeper dive into that. It's like that voice that we hear, that is the most consistent voice we hear throughout our lives. And it comes through the lens which we see ourselves, make decisions, and relate to the world. And, this is more of an unawareness fact, that how this kind of moves through our life. Yet now we are aware, so we could do something different. I think what is important, negative self-talk, may sound like this: I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. Why can't I get it right? So I want you to just sit with that, because I know for many listeners that this probably comes along quite a bit. And, you may think that these thoughts are harmless, or even familiar. But over time, they erode your confidence, your self-worth, and your emotional balance. Okay. Imagine having a lifetime of that. But the good news is we could shift that. So, where does that voice come from? I often hear my mother. That voice is my mother, which is kind of funny. Um, and, it's often internalized from our parents, authority figures, or, painful experiences where it was projected onto you how bad you are, when in essence you weren't. You were just an innocent, young person just doing young person things, right? And what happens over time, this is a protective mechanism that um, becomes an unconscious pattern of self-attack. Okay. So it's about really cleaning that up. And then we start believing the inner critic as the absolute truth. And it's really how we survived a past experience. So it's like part of our soul fractured off in another time and place. And it is on a loop, if you want to call it that. Part of us is just time locked or landlocked, if you want to call it, in another time or place. And it is part of us that needs to come back to home base. And when we start taking those parts that are landlocked in another time and place, part of our soul fractured off, and it's like repeating this pattern. It's like a whirling dervish. And many of us, I see this in people, it's like there's whirling dervishes all around them with different parts or aspects of their soul that have fractured off, but it's running the show, and it's really not truly who they are. They're operating in multiple dimensions, if you want to call that, time and place. And it's time to call these things back and get you back aligned to who you are in this present moment. What's interesting is that our brain doesn't know the difference between internal and external criticism. It still triggers the same process. That's interesting. So my question is, if you wouldn't say it to a loved one, why is it okay to say it to yourself? Okay. One thing to remember is the inner critic is loud, but it's not your truth. It's a part of you that needs compassion, not control. So, let's shift towards self-compassion now. We've noticed that we've been talking about inner dialogue, and we begin by noticing our inner dialogue. You catch yourself in the act of, judging and criticizing yourself. But instead of participating in it, just observe it. Okay? This is where your power comes in. You don't have to react to it, but you could observe it. Next, maybe name the inner critic voice. Some give it a funny name or to create distance. Okay? You might want to call your inner critic Georgette or something, or George, or Binky. I don't know. Think of something that, and make it humorous too. Nurture with compassion. So ask, George. Danielle saying mine is called Norma or Norman, sorry. Okay. Okay. So nurture it with compassion. What does, whatever that name is, that part of me need right now? Love, reassurance, rest. So, and take what you get from that too. The first thing that usually comes into your mind is the correct thing. And really honor that. Just say what part of me, what part, okay, I named mine Georgette. What does Georgette need from me today? And I'm feeling like Georgette needs some love today. Okay. And so also reframing the narrative, shift from, I feel unlovable to I'm loved. Maybe from I'm not good enough to I am growing and doing the best I can. And I'm really proud of myself for that. For an example, maybe you want to say to yourself, if you're, making mistakes, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm still lovable. Just feel that. It's like that acceptance, that ability to be okay with whatever is going on in the moment. How many of us feel like we have to have it all together? It's got to look perfect. It's got to be in a nice little box with a bow on a shelf. Sometimes life is hard and messy. Okay, no doubt about it. And it's very overwhelming. So instead of beating yourself up, just say, I understand this is hard and I'm allowed to feel overwhelmed. I am enough exactly as I am in this moment. It's about offering yourself the words of wisdom that you would share to your best friend, and support and having compassion. It's time to bring that home to ourselves as well. So, how do we, shift towards more self-compassion? So I love the idea of doing kindness rituals. Maybe start your day with a positive affirmation or, a gratitude practice. There's lots of them out there. My favorite one is to say 3 things that I'm very grateful for in the moment, because it's a reminder just to stay in the flow of gratitude. Maybe you might want to start keeping a journal and write one thing down about yourself that you appreciate each night before you go to bed. Maybe also use what they call somatic tools, like putting your hand over your heart to physically anchor compassion into your body. And that's an easy thing to do. It's just like when you think about self-compassion, just put your hand over your heart and just allow that energy to anchor into your heart space. You could feel that. What you need to remember too, our inner dialogue often reflects the imbalances or emotional wounds that still may be there that are running the show for us. And maybe it's time to take a deeper dive into looking at fixing and healing that for yourselves, so you could allow that to dissolve from your life. For those of you who love energy healing, this is a real great way to utilize this technique to help you shift, because everything is energy, and sometimes it's as easy as flipping shifts, flipping switches, flipping switches. It's all vibration and frequency, and that it happens that quickly. So before we go on to our next break, I just want to leave you with this thought here. Self-compassion isn't indulgence. It's really emotional hygiene. Think about that. It's true. It's a necessity. It's the foundation of resilience, self-trust, and peace. So once again, you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're talking about self-criticism and shifting it to self-compassion. So when we return, we're going to go into a delicious meditation to put it all together. Stay tuned.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And if you're liking what you're hearing here today, like us on your favorite platforms. We love to hear the feedback and love to get those likes. So if you like what you're hearing, spread the word. We appreciate it. So before we went on our breaks, we were talking about what self-compassion is and moving from criticism to self-compassion. And we talk about really, spiritual hygiene. It's like hygiene. It's like taking care of yourself on a deep, deep level. And, we know what it's like when you don't take a bath or a shower. You start to get really, after like a week or so, it gets really kind of stinky. So sometimes, cleaning up our internal hygiene is important as well because it could get really stinky as well. So we're going to just change this whole thing from you being a critical person to a more self-compassionate one. So we're going to head into a guided meditation. Okay. So, for those people who love guided meditations, you're going to like this one because this is a guided meditation for self-compassion. I really like to put together a meditation for people because it's great to get a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I feel that how people really are able to integrate the information is by having what I call an experiential process, and a guided meditation is that. So I love to talk about things and then always put it together for an experience for people so they could have a taste of what that's like. So if anybody's new to meditation, I just invite you just to follow the prompts, and there's really nothing to do. Just allow yourself to be. So take a moment to gently arrive here. Let this be a gift. You're giving yourself a time to soften, a time to receive. So find a comfortable position. Either you could sit or lie down, and just allow your eyes to close gently if that feels safe, or just soften your gaze. Let your hands rest in your lap or by your sides. I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale softly through your mouth. Again, inhale deeply and exhale, releasing any tension in your body. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel your jaw soften. Feel yourself supported by the surface beneath you. Now bring your awareness inward. Begin to notice your heart center, the space in the middle of your chest. You don't need to change anything. Just gently rest your awareness then. And if it feels right, place one hand over your heart and the other on your belly. Breathe into this space. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. This is your safe space. This is your inner sanctuary. Now, imagine a situation in your life that's been causing you stress or self-doubt. Nothing overwhelming, just something recent that brings up that inner critic voice. Notice what emotions arise, and notice what your inner dialogue sounds like. Now, instead of judging or resisting it, just acknowledge it. This is hard. This is a moment of struggle. Place your hand back on your heart if it isn't already there. And just breathe into that space again and offer yourself this phrase silently or out loud. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I offer myself the compassion I need. Just pause and breathe and allow the words to sink in. Feel the energy of those intentions begin to expand within you. Now, let's invite a compassionate presence to join you. Imagine someone who loves you unconditionally. It could be a person, a spiritual guide, a pet, or even your higher self. And just see them sitting beside you. Feel their presence, their warmth, their essence. They gently place a hand on your shoulder, look into your eyes, and say, "You are doing your best. You are worthy of love and understanding. There is nothing wrong with you." Allow yourself to take that in and let it wash over you like sunlight. Breathe in their love. Breathe out your self-judgment. Now, turn those words inward and repeat silently to yourself. I am enough just as I am. I forgive myself for being human. I deserve the same compassion I give others. Allow a feeling of self-acceptance to fill you, and just let it flow from your heart to every part of your being. Soothing, reassuring, healing. So take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel yourself anchored in a deeper sense of peace. Allow your heart to feel just a little more open, a little more spacious. When you're ready, gently wiggle your fingers and toes and slowly bring your awareness back to the room. And when it feels right, open your eyes. So carry this feeling of self-compassion with you as you move through your day. And you can return to this space anytime you need to be. And remember that you are worthy, you are loved, you are enough. Speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. That's where healing begins. So we're going on another break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we'll just wrap it up and share some more.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we've been talking about transitioning from self-criticism to self-compassion on our show today. And we talked about what self-compassion is and self-criticism is as well, and where the origins come from. And we did a delicious meditation right before this final segment. So if you missed it, I invite you to go back and listen to it, because I feel that this will help you connect and anchor and give you some self-nourishment, because we could always use a whopping dose of self-compassion sometimes. So, I'm just going to do a little infomercial here, but you've probably heard a lot about my monthly membership program called I'm Awake, Now What? And I co-partnered with a dear friend of mine, Cozy Stankaitis, who is a Reiki practitioner, but also a body talk practitioner and a energy healer as well, like myself. And we come together on a weekly basis to offer support, encouragement, healing, and resources for our audience on their awakening journey. So if this is something that is of interest to you, I invite you to go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com, and you'll see a little tab that says, I'm Awake Now What? Tap on that, and it'll take you to the information and how to get on board with our monthly membership program. We want to be there to support you, because believe me, awakening is not for sissies. It is a whole different animal, and it's nice to know that there are ways to maneuver through this a lot easier than maybe what I had to experience, or even Cozy did, like when we were going through ours, 30 plus years ago, where there was no resources at all. So I extend that to you, and please go check it out. So we've been talking about moving from self-criticism to self-compassion today on our show. And, some of the takeaways from today's show, just as a remembrance and a highlight, your inner dialogue matters. The way you speak to yourself shapes how you feel, what you believe is possible, and how you show up in the world. Okay. And once you're aware that this is happening, this is where you're able to step in your power and make those shifts. It's like flipping switches on and off. It's about changing changing what you say to yourself, because remember, everything is energy and a frequency. And some of the inner dialogue that maybe many of us have is not the most pleasant. So it's time to change that to a higher vibrating frequency. Self-criticism is learned, but it's not permanent. It often comes from past experiences, but it can be unlearned and transformed. Self-compassion is a skill. It's not about being self-indulgent. It's about giving yourself the same care, patience, and encouragement you give to others. Remember, it's about us becoming our own best friend. Would you treat your best friend crappy? I know I wouldn't. I would want to make sure that I treat myself as good as I treat other people who are externally in my world. Small shifts create big change. And if you ever have any doubt about that, read that again. Small shifts create big change. Every time you choose kindness over judgment, you're rewiring your inner world. And let me tell you, in our world today, there's a lot of judgment and criticism in the external. When we show up in kindness, it's like the key to unlock the rewiring. Remember, you are not broken. You are growing, evolving, and becoming more aligned with your true self. Remember, you're on planet Earth to get your PhD in becoming human. Okay? We're all working towards that. It's not about being perfect. It's not about it has to look a certain way. The gift is that when you're able to go with the flow and maneuver through the stream of life, you know how water meanders around rocks and stuff? It's like going with the flow instead of sticking your oars in and trying to make the canoe go upstream when you're actually flowing downstream. Just learn to allow yourself to be in the present moment and to align with where the current is taking you. Okay? Get out of your own way. So some final thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are not broken. You are becoming. Encourage small daily steps. Awareness is like the foundational piece. Once you're aware, you can't go back to being not aware. You can, but it would be, I'd like for you to experience that, because you cannot do that. One kind word towards yourself each day sometimes is a big step. Take that first step. Invite, and I told you about our I'm Awake Now What? You know what? Join us. We'd love to have you. And that'll help you on your pathway as well. So remember, you deserve to feel safe within your own mind and heart. You deserve to be your own ally, your own cheerleader, and your own gentle presence. Let today be the beginning of a new relationship with yourself, one rooted in understanding, forgiveness, and love. And so I want to leave you with a quote from Louise Hay. You've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. I love that. So just remember, it's a journey, not a destination. We're all works in progress. We might fall off the wagon and be fine for a while and then all of a sudden go down a rabbit hole when we get triggered. Just remember to be kind to yourself. You are worth it.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.